Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's Friday Night Live. I'm joined by Sophie, and it's not, it's Derby Day tomorrow. It's Derby Day tomorrow, so that in itself is already massive news. But on top of that, we've had this Pogba revelation, as I would like to call it. I think people are under-egging this totally. I think it's absolutely massive news. Just to summarise it, because people might not be aware. So Pep Guardiola did his press conference today. We thought they'd both done boring ones. We covered Mourinho's earlier. But then he spoke about Raiola, who'd spoken about him calling him a dog a couple of weeks ago. Pep Guardiola publicly saying that Paul Pogba and Mkhitaryan were offered to Manchester City 2 months ago in January. Now, a lot of people jumped on that and said, oh, what a load of nonsense. But we live in a world of multi-million pound deals. For a manager of a Premier League club to say that publicly in a press conference, they've got to be on pretty firm ground, I would think. Anyway, then we get Paul Pogba coming out. Paul Pogba comes out with, say what? Puts it on Instagram, puts it on Twitter, and people think, oh, good old Pogba, he's telling Pep it's not true. I personally felt I'd rather he didn't say what, and actually said it didn't happen. But, by the by. Then BBC Sport come out and say that they've spoken to Raiola, who didn't deny it. He just said, I wouldn't have spoken to Pep, I'd speak to Man City. They're a fantastic club, or words to that effect. So he's not denied it either. So, what's your thoughts on this, Sophie? I'll get your thoughts first.
I'm disgusted with Pep doing that just before a derby, to be honest with you. I just think it's really unprofessional of him, whether it's true or not. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. And if it was Jose Mourinho, he always says this, I will not talk about players who belong to other clubs. Whether it's mind games or not, Jose Mourinho would not do that in that situation. So for me, I just think it's really unprofessional and disgusting of Pep to do that on the eve of a derby as well.
I tell you what, I think we were talking about it before we went live, weren't we? And you'd said that, and I said what a brilliant point that is, because getting lost in the Pogba thing, which I want to talk surely about. I mean, Mr. Animus says fake. I don't think there's anything fake about it, mate. I think it's bang on. I think we don't know the full story, but there's no smoke without fire. You've got a manager publicly for the world to hear saying he was offered Paul Pogba. If he wasn't offered Paul Pogba, then legal people should be getting involved and suing Pep Guardiola, because that has disrupted us on the eve of the derby. But it's a brilliant point by Sophie, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with that. By the by of whatever the big issue is, and we'll talk about that in a minute, it is the eve of a big game. And Pep Guardiola, and the thing is, he nearly didn't. He actually said, I don't want to talk about it. And then he corrected himself and went,
he was dying to get it out.
Yeah,
he was dying to get it out.
He was absolutely dying to get it out. And he got it out. And he knows full well the ramifications of that. I don't know whether you saw Mourinho's press conference, Sophie, but I reacted to it at about 2 o'clock today and said that I was quite frustrated in a way, because I'm very excited about it, as I'm sure you and everybody else are. But Mourinho seemed so not interested, didn't want to answer any questions, seemed really moody. We might know why now. Yeah,
people are saying maybe he knew what Pep was going to reveal just before his press conference, which may be the case, but you know what? After this today from Pep Guardiola, if the players weren't fired up already, then surely they're going to be now, because it's really uncalled for. And I know if it was me, and if I was Pogba, I would want to prove my critics wrong, and especially you want to win the United fans back, because like you were saying, whether it's true or not, there seems to be something in it. And for me, I would be roiled up now if I was a United player, definitely.
It's an interesting one. Somebody just said there, I'll try and quote them if I can find the... Yeah, okay. So Kingdom FX says that John Cross, who's with the Mirror, has criticised Di Marzio for leaking the press conference, yet John Cross makes lies up all the time. Journalists. But the thing is, I watched Pep Guardiola's press conference, and it was before Mourinho's, and I didn't hear anything of this. Then I watched Mourinho's press conference, reacted to it, and then 2 hours ago this came out. So I presume, like Manchester United, Man City have this thing that I can't remember what they call it. What's the word? It's like there's bits from the press conference kept back till later. So I presume this has come out from the bits later. So maybe there'll be something from Mourinho at 10:30. I don't know. But the reality is, he said it. I've seen that clip now from Pep Guardiola. He did say it, and it will come out properly, obviously. But it's come out everywhere now anyway. But I do agree with you, Sophie. I don't think Mourinho would have gone anywhere near this. And people can criticise Mourinho and say he was miserable. And I did today. I wondered why he was so miserable. But let's just accept that Guardiola should never have done it. It's bitter and it's twisted and it's not a nice thing to do on the night before a derby. But he's a Man City fan. We're Manchester United fans. Bringing it back to the bigger picture here, what do you what does your head say as actually? Do you think he has been offered to Manchester City? I mean, Manchester United, I must just add, Simon Stone from the BBC has said that he understands from Manchester United that regardless of whether Pogba was offered to Man City or not, never in a million years would they sell Pogba to Man City because he's under contract. But it doesn't mean that the agent hasn't done it. Now, I said a couple of hours ago, I think this has happened because I can't for the life of me think that Pep Guardiola would dare put that out publicly if it's a lie. I think it has happened. If Pogba knows it's happened, that's a big problem for Manchester United because you've got a player willingly knowing it. If Pogba doesn't know it and his agent's gone ahead and done it without him knowing, which could have happened, then Pogba needs to get rid of Mino Raiola because at the bottom line is it's caused a lot of unhappiness and uncertainty for United fans.
Yeah, and I think you've just hit the nail on the head. I don't think it was Pogba, to be honest. I think it's good that Pogba's responded to it. He could have easily stayed quiet, and the fact that quite soon after he's responded, I think is positive. I think it's down to the agent, and we knew this beforehand. Fergie slated him in the past as well. He's the biggest snake going, and he'll do anything to try and get more money and get a better contract. And there's been rumours recently about Pogba not being happy with his salary due to Alexis Sanchez and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if this is literally stirring, trying to get a better deal for Pogba, and his agent is the biggest party in this. I don't think Pogba had anything to do with it. I'll be surprised if Pogba knew, to be honest with you. And I just think it's really positive that he's responded so quickly. Let's hope he responds on the pitch tomorrow.
I'm a big fan of Pogba. I had people messaging me today saying you can't defend him now after all this. And the reality is I don't think we'll ever know the truth in relation to whether Pogba knew or not. But I do think that, I mean, Mohammed Sheikh says, what is the point of this topic? It's nonsense. Mate, you know what? I know there are stories in the Daily Mirror that we never know whether they're true or not. But I think this is not something you brush under the carpet. The night before the derby, the manager of the opposition says he was offered our best star player. That's pretty significant. I've been doing the United stand for 3 years, and this would be in the top 10 of big stories because actually it's not a rumour in a paper. It's not where you don't know the source. It's factually come from the opposition's manager's mouth that he was offered our best star player 2 months ago. Not last summer, not before he came to Manchester United, 2 months ago. And the agent of that player has come out and not denied it. The reality is, it's a bloody disgrace. It's a disgrace, like Sophie says, for Pep to do it, but it's a disgrace whoever offered Pogba to Manchester City, and that needs dealing with. And if Paul Pogba's got anything about him, I know he's a young lad, but many Manchester United fans will be really, really annoyed, frustrated and confused tonight. Pogba should get rid of that Raiola. Sack him off and get another agent, because you cannot have... It's this stupidity. The bottom line is, it's stupidity. Manchester United would never sell Pogba to Man City anyway. So who's the bloody idiot who's gone and offered him to Man City? And if Pogba knew about it, Pogba's in a world of trouble. But I tend to agree with Sophie. I think agents are going off doing things all the time. It's like agents will go on off and do stuff for their clients and not tell their client because they'll be like, why tell them about something before I found it out? Why tell them I've got a £5 million a year Adidas deal before I've got it? I don't want to get them excited. So Raiola, as the agent, could well have gone off to Man City and said, would you be interested? Goes back to Pogba and says, you know, Man City, they'd be interested if things don't go right with you at United and they'll pay you this money. And exactly, Sophie, I think that's probably why we talk about, there was a player mentioned the other day, Umtiti at Barcelona. Barcelona are humming and ahhing about the wages. United have apparently said, we'll give you 50 grand a week more than anything Barcelona will play. People don't understand that the money's in the Premier League. So Pogba got massive money to come to United. Massive money. £300,000 a week apparently, and God knows what. I think there was a rumour that Raiola got 25 million. If Pogba's leaving Manchester United because it's gone wrong, he's got to go somewhere that's going to pay him big money. Man City's the obvious one. And even Pep said in his interview, we can't afford Pogba. If they can't, no one can.
No, I agree. And money's the biggest driving force. It always has been for that agent, hasn't it? And for Pogba, to be honest with you. He's on mad money at United. But you know what? He's a United fan. He came back to United, and I'd like to think that he'd like to stay. But yeah, he's responded with a picture on Instagram and on Twitter, which is good news. However, for me, he needs to respond on the pitch. He hasn't been performing, and if there's any time where he needs to perform, it's tomorrow. We need to see a big performance from Paul Pogba.
Lewis Charlton says embargo. That was the word I was looking for. And Gungshi says Pep is frustrated because he'll always be bold. Yeah, there could be something in that. I want to talk about the derby with you, Sophie. You're going to be there tomorrow doing the fan cams, but also there was a second part to this. Mkhitaryan was, there was another part which I've not mentioned. Pogba and Mkhitaryan were offered to Man City, which The Mkhitaryan bit, I suppose, would make sense because they were looking to move him on, and as you just said there, Rayola's going to go where the money is.
Exactly. Mkhitaryan did the right thing in going to Arsenal, didn't he? If he went to City, he wouldn't have played, to be fair. But yeah, I could have seen that happening. He needed to move from United. It wasn't working for him there. And like you say, for the money, City would have been the best option for him. But I think in terms of his career, Arsenal was the best choice for him. And obviously we got Sanchez in return, so better deal for us there.
Richard Stainer says only an idiot would believe this story. I think some people are not grasping the fact that this actually happened. It's not on the back page of the Daily Mirror with some unknown journalist. It actually happened, Richard. Pep, with his own words from his own mouth, said he was offered Paul Pogba and Mkhitaryan in January. He said it with his mouth. So either Pep's a liar and leaving himself open to legal claims. Rayola's not denied it. He just said, I wouldn't have offered Pep, I would have offered Man City. And then Pogba's come out with say what? Something's definitely happened. It's alright saying it's a nonsense story. It's alright saying you don't like the story. But saying it's not true, you're just being naive. Something did happen. And I think Sophie's right. I think it's got to be how we react tomorrow. Because I suppose it could go one of two ways. It could galvanise the team. It could really work in our favour. Or it could blow the dressing room wide apart and undermine the team.
Exactly. It could. He's trying to disrupt us, isn't he? That's why he's waited till the eve of the derby to reveal this. Don't forget, this happened 2 months ago. He could have revealed it at any time. Why has he revealed it today of all days? He's trying to disrupt United. It is mind games. And as I mentioned earlier, Mourinho is a master of mind games, but he would never, ever talk about players who belong to another team. And for me, that's just really disrespectful. I'm hoping that the result of it will be that the players are now fired up and they want to bounce back, especially Pogba. But let's see. Fingers crossed that we do put up a fight tomorrow. And we do everything that we can to prevent City from, winning the trophy against us.
Hyper Hassan says, don't worry, next press conference, Jose will destroy Pep like he did. I mean, in that sense, let's talk about the game tomorrow. Sophie, you're doing the fan cams tomorrow because Flex has bottled it and gone to Vegas. It's funny how he's had this planned for the last 3 months, but we've known about this fixture for the last 6. He's just bottled the City game, hasn't he? I mean, what a bottler. But looking forward to doing it. What are you thinking about the game?
I'm really looking forward to doing it. And you know what? If anyone's at the game tomorrow, come and chat to me afterwards. No matter the result, but fingers crossed that it's a positive one for United, obviously. I'm hoping that we can wipe a bit of a smile off City fans and beat them at their place tomorrow. And I actually think we will. I'm feeling confident, especially now after Pep's done this. I think our players should be more fired up than ever. Like we need firing up anyway for a derby, but this surely should give them a kick up the backside that they need.
Definitely. Smash that like button, everybody. In fact, smash the like button if you're feeling positive, if you think we can do it. Because I do. I'm really excited about it. Mourinho's press conference was so negative and quiet. It was like, oh, come on, I need something. And actually, I think this Pep thing has got me all pumped up again because I'm like, you know what? It's going to go. I really think it's going to go off tomorrow. I do. I think Mourinho will be really annoyed, like Sophie said, because Pep shouldn't have done that right before the derby. It undermines, to be honest with you, whatever the truth is around it, and I'm sure there is some truth, it's totally disrespectful to Mourinho, to Manchester United, to throw us under a bus. I mean, bus has probably been mentioned more than anything today, but they have thrown us under the bus the night before. They've put a lot of heat onto our club. It's not professional. It's snidey. And I think Mourinho will be furious. And the reality is, I feel as well, Sophie, in relation to Pep and Mourinho, it's never kicked off in the 2 years. Before they came in that summer, everyone was like, oh, we're going to see fireworks between them. It's always been very respectful. I personally always feel that Mourinho and United, if you look back under Sir Alex, we work better with rivalries when there is a bit of tension there. And I'm hoping tomorrow that maybe Mourinho now, the gloves will come off, because Pep's certainly thrown a low blow today. Definitely.
And that's what you want to see. I want Mourinho to encourage the players to have that fighting spirit and go at City tomorrow. I think if we sit back and if we do part the bus, as a lot of people are predicting, I think City will beat us. It'll be a matter of time until they score. Whereas if we go there and we attack them like Liverpool in the week, I think, you know what, we can get something. We can win at City. And that's what I want to see tomorrow.
Salim Hussein says, we will see, Mark, we'll beat City because of the tunnel fight. We saw against Chelsea and against Liverpool, the shaking, the hugging and everything like that. I mean, one thing that came out of the press conference reaction from a lot of people in the live comments was this lack of enthusiasm and energy from Manchester United, and people are concerned that we're going to park the bus. How do you think we're going to approach it tomorrow? I mean, hard to say. I know we don't know what the team is yet, but do you think Mourinho will be conservative, or do you think he will try and do a little bit of what Liverpool did and get at them? Do you think he's got the players to do that?
I think we've got the players to attack, we just don't utilise them. We've got players like Alexis Sanchez in our lineup, we should be using them more often. Lukaku, when he's given the freedom to run at players, he's an absolute world beater. But we haven't seen enough of that really. We saw glimpses against Chelsea where he picked the ball up and he ran. And that's what I want to see more of. I think tomorrow players should be given a bit more freedom, a bit more of a licence. Maybe we'll play on the counter-attack a bit more than what we have been. I think there will be times where we've got to absorb pressure. City at home. City obviously like to keep the ball. They probably are the best team at keeping the ball this season. And so there will be times where we're under pressure. But I just want to see us to have more purpose going forwards in the attack. I don't want us to be passing sideways. And that's what I want to see more of for tomorrow. At first I was thinking we're going to be quite conservative and Mourinho will do anything to not lose that game at City. However, after today's events, I would like to think that, you know what, give the players a bit more freedom and let's just go at City tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so. Matthew McFadden says, whether it's true or not, the Pogba story was revealed by Pep to unnerve us. Unprofessional, absolutely, but he's done his job to full effect. Exactly, which is why I think we should all be a bit frustrated about it. Craig McCullough Games HD has made a contribution. He says, it would be horrible to see City lift that cup in front of us, so come on Manchester United, let's win this. Well, of course, I mean, a lot of unhappy people tonight in relation to what Pep's done. That would only be confounded if they're there lifting the trophy tomorrow. I mean, Man City fans will be absolutely hoping that that's going to happen, and I suppose in many ways they are favourites. But this is an opportunity to produce something positive for the fans. It's an opportunity with the whole world watching to build for next season for Jose. I wouldn't take it as something to be scared of. I take it as an opportunity, and hopefully that will be what we see tomorrow. Luke Skywalker's made a contribution. He says the more business United make with Raiola, the more trouble it will cause the club. The morale in the dressing room, it might not happen in a few days, but in the long run it will affect our club. And Christian Medina says, when Mourinho has the team he needs to go at Pep, he will. He's biding his time. When he builds a Mourinho team, God help the Premier League. I just feel that tomorrow is irrelevant in relation to this season, but it's a statement for, I think, well, I'll throw that question at you, Sophie, actually. I think a lot of United fans have made up their own minds that tomorrow is about a statement for next season. It's almost as if he parks the bus and gets a point or nicks a win, it's not good enough, because where's the future in parking the bus? They want to see something that they can they want to see a good result that actually is something we can build on for next season.
Look, what have we got to lose tomorrow, realistically? We've got nothing to lose, have we, other than our pride. So we've got to go at City tomorrow. That's the only option. If we sit back, they will break us down eventually. There's no doubt about it, and they will score. And like you say, fans will not be satisfied seeing that away at City, where they could win the league. Fans will not want to sit and see us under the cosh for 90 minutes and being battered. Fans will want to see us go at them. And you know what? If we lose 1-0, but we've gone at them, we've created a lot of chances, we've been quite unlucky, then I'm sure fans will be much more satisfied with that. And like you say, it's a statement for next season. City have had it easy this year. The gap between us and City is far too big. I would like us to say, you know what, get ready for next season, give them a bit of a warning. And once we improve our team, and like you say, Mourinho finds the system that suits him best, and we are playing better football, which is what we need to do, then, you know what, next season won't be as easy for you. And that's the kind of message I want to put across to them.
I totally agree. I mean, somebody said to me today, why are you so excited about this? And I'm like, well, you know what, confidence before a fall, whatever. But I've always said as a Manchester United fan that the games that I thrive on are the tough games. You know, when Arsenal were good and they were the Invincibles and they came to Old Trafford and we were slight underdogs, I was excited about it. We're going into the Lions Den tomorrow. We're going to the champions. They will be the champions and they totally deserve it. Their style of football is the best in the league. They've scored the most goals. They're a fantastic team. But what an opportunity. I mean, Manchester United have been second for most of the season. Mourinho's right. We do deserve second place. But second place is the first loser. We're building for next season. We know we're going to spend money. We know that there seems to be a change in mentality for Mourinho. He's trying to get us playing better football. What better opportunity tomorrow? I almost feel that, apart from the fact that they're going to win the league, I just must read this comment actually. CDL Bro says, Raiola's just a fat Mario brother wanting more money. I'd love to see him in a pair of dungarees and a cap, actually. I think he'd be a Raiola, Luigi and Mario. But I can't live through another Aguero type of moment, says 100th Joe. I think that's the problem, Sophie, because I almost feel, and people were talking about this last night, and it sounds really odd to say it, but they were almost saying, well, they were saying, I'd rather lose 3-2 in a really good game where we play really good football, because we already know we're not at Man City's level, but there's something to build on for next year with signings and stuff, than go there, park the bus, get a draw or nick it 1-0. I think if it wasn't the fact that if we lose they're going to be running around with the title, that would probably make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, teams have showed City far too much respect this season. If you look at Chelsea against City, absolutely disgusting. What was the point in them even going there, to be honest with you? Walking around the pitch. And I think that's happened far too much this season. Don't get me wrong, City have had a fantastic season. They rightly will be champions of the Premier League, just hopefully not against us. But I think too many teams have paid them so much respect. And tomorrow I just think, you know what, let's throw that back at them and go at them. And like you say, fans will rather see an attacking performance, a close game, where we've put up a fight, rather than us doing a Chelsea, for example, and walking around the pitch, paying too much respect. And it's pointless. What's the point in going to a derby if you're not going to put up a fight and throw the kitchen sink at them?
Exactly. I just need to ask a quick question. Somebody keeps asking, and I'm always reading the live comments. They said, what football team do you play for, Sophie?
Sporting Calcer Ladies in the Women's Premier League.
There you go. I've got a good question coming up for you, but Marcus Rojo, I hope it's not the real one. He says, where does this rumour come from, Mark? So, I think it's part of the embargoed press conference for Pep, because it didn't come out at lunchtime. It came out about 2 hours ago through Di Marzio, and I've seen the actual clip, and he says, in response to what Raiola said to him 2 weeks ago, calling him a dog, if I'm a dog, why has he offered me Pogba and Mkhitaryan in January? So he apparently was offered that, and he said that with his own mouth. I've seen it. I've actually seen the clip. So then you've got Pogba coming out with his Instagram say what, sort of denying it, I suppose. But then Raiola's been spoken to by BBC Sport, and he hasn't denied it. All he said is, I wouldn't have offered it to Pep, I would have offered him to Man City. Something's gone on. Something's been gone on with Pogba in January. And I don't think Pogba knows about it, but his agent probably does. And I think he should sack his agent off. And obviously, like Sophie said, and many of you said in the live comments, the problem is that it shouldn't have come out the night before a derby anyway. Whatever way you want to interpret it, Pep Guardiola is a bit of an arsehole doing that. He's totally and utterly disrespected Mourinho. You talk about fair play and everything like that. There's nothing fair. And the thing is about Guardiola as well, Sophie, is he was moaning about his bus being attacked the other night, and what's that got to do with football? It should be all on the pitch. The night before a big game, he goes and throws a grenade like that.
Yeah, maybe he's still bitter about the result the other night, and he's decided to take it out on Mourinho and United. Maybe that's what it is. He's still bitter about losing 3-0 to Liverpool. I don't know. It's just really, I wouldn't say out of character of him, but I just think it's just really disrespectful. And I expected better, to be honest with you. If you're about to lift the Premier League, why do you need to get involved with stuff like that? I just think it's really, I don't know. It shocked me a bit, to be honest. I'm disgusted by it.
Yeah, I agree. Pesnat Mate has made a really good point. I mean, Alexis Sanchez, all eyes were on him tomorrow anyway because of this. Was he going to go to City? Did he snub City for United? So he was always going to be focused. I don't think he is now. I think he's going to go to the sidelines again. Sanchez always seems to be put on the sidelines because it's all going to be about Pogba, whether he wants that or not. And, you know, Pogba loves the limelight. That's what some of the accusations are thrown against him. But Pesnat says, is there a possibility Pogba could be dropped? I mean, I suppose there is. It would be massively significant, but if he's not dropped, he's got to perform.
You know, if I was Pogba now, and it's not true, it's all rumours, and he's come out and sent that picture, I would be begging Mourinho to be starting, and I would be dying to get on that pitch and show Pep Guardiola and Man City that it's not true. I want to play for United, and I want to prove a point tomorrow. So I think if he is dropped, I think he personally will be absolutely gutted. Because I know if it was me, I would be dying to get on that pitch and prove all the haters wrong. And prove to United fans where your loyalty really does lie as well.
Definitely. Shavink Sharma says, maybe this is the reason why Mourinho dropped Pogba for a while during February and March. Well, could be. Could be definitely be the reason why he walked in very frustrated, because Pep Guardiola did his press conference at 1:30 and Mourinho did his at 2 o'clock, and none of us knew at 2 o'clock what had been said because it was part of press's embargo. But there were people, well, I know for a fact 2 journalists who were at Pep's press conference who were then at Mourinho's press conference, and I'm sure Mourinho had his spies there. And just because it's embargoed doesn't mean Mourinho wouldn't have known at 2 o'clock what Pep had said. I think that's probably a massive reason why Mourinho wouldn't speak, because there was some weird. I don't know whether you've seen it, Sophie, but there was some. He was offered up a couple of questions about Man City and how great they are and what sort of season they've had, and questions that I suppose he doesn't have to answer, but I think normally he would have done. But he did not want to entertain any questions about Manchester City in any way or form, and I suspect he probably knew what we know now before.
I think you're right, and I think he won't want to enter into that. Like I said earlier, I think it's really unprofessional for Pep to do that, and I think Jose won't want to be dragged into that kind of thing. We already know he'll get a ban from the FA if he comments on it, probably, so I'm sure he'll want to take a back step. And like I say, I'd hope that he'd like to transfer his anger now about that situation onto the players for the pitch tomorrow. And I think it's really classy of Mourinho, to be honest, to not comment on it and to just take a back step from it. I think that was the right thing to do.
Andy Wright says Pogba grab a winner and celebrate in front of Pep. Well, you know what?
I'd love that.
I would love it as well, and I think as well it's. Look, somebody just said there we're all falling for Pep's mind games, and somebody else said players get offered to clubs all the time, and they do, and I think that's what Sophie was saying at the start. It's the fact that Pep's brought this out publicly the night before the game. Manchester United will have been offered all sorts of players over the last few months. Some that will never leave their clubs. We could have been offered Lewandowski by his agent. These things do happen. It's when they see light of day that it causes issues. And
it's like you said, that happens all the time. But Jose, he always says, I will not talk about players who belong to other teams because it's disrespectful. And Pep obviously has completely just pushed that to the side and openly said it. And like you say, why the night before a big derby game? Why has he waited until now? This happened 2 months ago, apparently. So why now?
Yeah, definitely. And also, in some ways, I'm pleased because it just gives this derby a little bit more of an edge. It gives it something where there shouldn't be any shaking hands in the tunnel. It should be focused from Manchester United and do what Liverpool did on Wednesday night. I hate to say it, but from minute one, get at them, because Man City have been very good, Sophie, but I do think they are mercenary City. Everything's been a little bit too easy for them. Give them the ball, they'll ticky-tacker it around, and as we saw with Liverpool on Wednesday, if you get at them, you bite into the tackle, you don't give them time, you hit the ball forward quickly and accurately, they don't like it. They don't like it up them.
No, they don't. It's right. If you go at City, there's plenty of goals in it for you, as Liverpool proved the other night. However, if you give City the respect and sit back, they will break it down because they're far too good going forwards. And sometimes, you know what, football's about scoring goals. And sometimes you need to just think, you know what, let's just outscore the opposition. And that's what I want to see tomorrow. Let's just score more goals than them. That's what it boils down to. And that's the way we should be thinking.
I'll tell you what, tomorrow, this time tomorrow night, in fact, we'll be doing the live reaction. We'll have the fan cams coming in from Sophie. It could be a famous win. It could be despair of a loss. I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going for a draw, 1-1 or 2-2. What do you think, Soph?
I'm going to go with a 2-1 United win.
I hope they do. I hope it's just me being a little bit conservative. Aquilis Halusin has had his message deleted by Snaps, but I read it before. I thought it was quite a good message, to be fair. Don't know why it's been deleted. He said that you're telling me that Pogba didn't know about his agent offering him around. Well, I think we're moving into an area there where we just don't know. We won't know about that, but I can see a scenario where Pogba wouldn't know. I can also see a scenario where he would know. I like Pogba, so I'll choose to believe he didn't know. But what we do know is what Pep said and the trouble that he's caused. The lineup is massive tomorrow, of course. And Sean, he says Sophie's better than Fellaini. I would play Sophie over Fellaini, but that would be the team news tomorrow at 4:30 is going to be pretty significant. We'll be able to predict an hour before kickoff how we're going to approach it. And I mean, even though it's my worst nightmare and sometimes that happens, I wouldn't have thought he'd use Fellaini in a game like tomorrow.
You never know, do you, with Jose Mourinho? You literally never know. You can't comment. I would like to see Pogba, after this has happened, being put into that starting lineup just to prove a point to Pep, to be honest with you. And like commented earlier, score the winner and go and celebrate. I would love to see that. But you never know, do you? I mean, McTominay, Matic, you don't know what he's going to do, especially in the middle of the park. I'd like to think Lingard will play tomorrow, local lad. And Jose always seems to go in big games with Lingard. So I'd like to say Lingard will start tomorrow. But in terms of Fellaini, you literally never know.
I'd be concerned if he did start. The message got deleted because of swearing, says Snaps. You see, he's a good moderator. I wouldn't have expected anything different. But you know what? I mean, we're all getting talking about the game before it starts, which is great. But it was just dropping into my head then. I mean, whatever happens tomorrow, it's going to be a fast, frenetic game. It just depends how fast Manchester United want to be, because Man City only know how to play one way. They want to move the ball quickly around the ground in the final third, and they will do that regardless of how we approach it. So we're either going to have a 90 minutes of, you know, sitting back, biting our fingernails, waiting for them to surprise us apart, or we're going to have a go at them and try and do it as well. And it could be a real humdinger of a game. So I'm very, very excited about it. I think this is only ever adds it to him. Wilf says that Pep shot himself in the foot. He's broken confidentiality. Other agents and Mino will be looking at him sideways now. Yeah, but he was gloating about that anyway in the embargoed part. He was saying that loads of agents don't like him. I think Pep's a very he likes himself. I nearly said something else there. Rashford's a local lad and knows the importance of the game, says PTK.
He's already retired one City defender, so why not do it again?
Yeah, that was about 2 years ago, wasn't it? Dim Eccles.
Yeah.
We've been there before and won. We did that 2 years ago. Van Persie did it with that free kick, so we can do it. I think we've got to come out and do something tomorrow. We've got to come out and do something positive. If we don't, I just feel that if we play in a negative way, no matter what the result is, there will still be all those people that we know in the live comments who are Mourinho out. It's not going to do anything for them. And there was a good question before. Does Mourinho actually give a damn? And we'll find out tomorrow. I think this and the Spurs game are the two big games.
You know, people say, does he give a damn? But I'm sure, even personally, after what's happened with Pep Guardiola tonight, I'm sure he will be giving a damn, because that's taken, like you say, a really low blow at United and at Jose himself, because he will never talk about players of other clubs, but Pep obviously doesn't care about that. And I'm sure that Jose now, personally, especially on a personal level, will want to bite back. So I'm sure he does give a damn.
Jay Coulter says Pep is a very unlikable guy. He gets way too much respect. And I wouldn't disagree with that. I think what he's done today, if Mourinho did it, you can imagine the press reaction to it. I was looking, before we went live, all around the internet at the articles around this, and it's all about Pogba. Not one person had hit what Sophie said at the start. You know, it's a disgrace what Pep Guardiola's done, and it really is. Okay, we did this last Friday night. We've got a little bit of a promotion through Colossus Bets. It's a syndicate sort of lotto thing. In fact, my explanation of it's poor. We'll come back with Mark Atherton in a moment, but listen to this. Colossus Bets is an innovative new way where fans can contribute to bets that they're interested in and cash out together and win lotto-sized jackpots. The innovative way of doing it is that people like yourselves can join a syndicate that we've set up with the United Stand. Link in the video description, sign yourself up. You'll get a free play, which we'll talk in a moment, but in relation to the syndicates, click the syndicates icon and then just search the United Stand, funnily enough, because this is an exclusive United Stand syndicate. So if we click that, it starts at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. You click it, and what we've done is we've built up a card here. And on a cash out basis, we can cash out before, but the total jackpot for this is a ticket paying £400,000, as you can see at the start. Now, this is a syndicate where many different people will jump in with their tickets, but our ticket, basically, we've covered a number of different outcomes. Say Bournemouth against Palace, we've got home win or draw. Watford, Burnley, home win or draw, and so on and so on. We've even got Manchester City United halfway through the ticket, which is at 5:30. We've gone for United win. Now, if all of our results come in up until the Millwall game, we might think, oh, we don't want to risk the Man United thing and we might cash out. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I think we should just go for it and try and win the whole lot. Now, to enter the syndicate, it's a £64 cost. So, first come, first serve. We're 10% funded already. The cost per ticket is a couple of pounds just to have a ticket. And then if we win, you will have a percentage of that ticket. So you could win a percentage of £400,000. Link in the video description. Worked really well last week. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, so you can get involved. But added to that, not just that, you can also get a free play for everybody who signs up using our RAF code in the link in the video description. Now, you can't use free plays on the syndicate entries. You've got to pay for those. However, on the free play, you just click free play. You go to the chosen jackpots, you choose your jackpot, and the one that I think is the best is, let me see it, pick 5, 1 or 2, starting at 12:15 tomorrow. Click that. This is a free play to enter, and all you do is you collect You select your home, win, draw, away. Smart pick I've chosen there. Sheffield United, Watford, draw with Bournemouth Palace, Newcastle win. They won't do. Man City United. So I'd change that. You get a free play on that 5. Simple as that. Click free play. Click juice back jackpot. Go to pick 5 1 times 2. £1,000 jackpot there, and then pick your 5 things and enter. So you get a free play. Not only that, you can win yourself another free play by sharing the link with friends and getting them to sign up. So free play you can do, but also don't forget the main bit is we're going for that £400,000 jackpot on the United Stand Syndicate. Link is in the video description for that. £2 to enter it, £400,000 if we can get there. I've covered as many of the results as I can do. Remember, you've got to be over 18 to enter, and remember you do get the free play as well, which you need to click on free play to play. Link in the video description. Give it a go. There we go. I think people had a bit of an issue with the sound, but effectively the link is in the video description. You get a free play, and you can join our syndicate where we're trying to win £400,000 based on the selections that I've put together. So over 18 to enter, link in the video description. Give it a go. And on the watch along tomorrow, we've got something through Ladbrokes, which was on the preview today as well. So lots and lots of things going on. Talking of which, Mark Atherton's made a contribution. He says, thanks for the contribution, Win. Have a drink on me. Wouldn't it be great if Sophie signed for United's women's team? And Mark Atherton won an iPhone off us today, so well done to him. But United have got a women's team. Well, not officially yet. They've put an application in. Will that be a foregone conclusion? Because you play in those leagues, and I think a number of other people do actually apply for it. So it's not definite that they're going to get it, but I would imagine they would because it's such a big pull.
Yeah, they'll definitely get a team. It's just a matter of what league they're going to start in, because they'll have to start not right at the bottom, but they'll start pretty low down and have to work their way up like any other team has to. I wouldn't imagine there'd be any special treatment for United. So yeah, they won't automatically go right into the Super League 1, which is the top league. So it's just a matter of what league they'll be in, really. And yeah, but they'll definitely go ahead, no doubt about that.
So they could start in your league?
Could do.
In which case, you know the league very well. They might be looking for a midfielder. If anyone's watching,
better than Fellaini.
Speak to Mini Raiola. He's offering you out to everywhere, isn't he? Pogba and Martial should leave if they are seeking progress in their career, says Sarri. Well, maybe there's something in that. And lots of people talking about Pogba. Tom Free says, I'm sorry, but Pep seems to be afraid of what he thinks Jose will do tomorrow in the game. He's just trying to ruffle Jose, but we all know Pep has no backbone or plan B when teams run at him. And that is very true. City's plan A has been excellent this season, but they don't really have a plan B. Please do drop a like on the video. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. Really enjoyed it. And of course, Sophie's going to be doing fan cams tomorrow. So the fan cams after the game, when they go up, will be with Sophie. If anyone's fortunate enough to be going to the game, then find Sophie after the match and go and get on the fan cams. But very exciting. One more sleep to go. It's a bit like Christmas Eve, Sophie.
It is. I am excited and I'm feeling pretty positive. Yeah, if you are at the game, please do come and chat to me afterwards. Looking forward to interacting with as many fans as I possibly can after that game. So fingers crossed for a positive result for United as well.
And somebody did ask as well, it won't just be Sophie interviewing the fan cam, she will be giving like a match reaction, a video of herself. So we'll have that up as well. 5:30 kickoff, 7:30. So they'll probably be going up at around 9 o'clock tomorrow night. But we have got the call in after the match as well. Skype in, you can have your say. And obviously we've got the watch along tomorrow as well. So lots going on to build towards. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to Anthony Muller for the happy birthday thing, because it is my birthday tomorrow. So we've lost to City on my birthday before though. So I don't anybody think, oh, that's going to be that's anything to go by. It really isn't. And remember the link in the video description for the Colossus Bets thing. Have a crack on that. We've got a couple of free plays for you. And you might win yourself some money. But remember, you've got to be over 18 and do gamble responsibly. Thanks, everyone. Story is very controversial, but the proof will be in the pudding tomorrow. It's not about what you say, it's about what you do. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Thanks for that, Sophie.
No problem.